All right, what's going on, you guys? So I'm down here in Kentucky. I just got done working out. So I wanted to real quick give my thoughts on the Olympia and the results. I was kind of surprised that Dexter Jackson placed second. I'm kind of starting to really think that the IFBB could possibly be fixed. Because really at the press conference, when they were asking Phil about Sean and Dennis and all the guys who I thought were legitimately pushing Phil kind of deflected the subject to Dexter and said that he felt Dexter was actually his biggest threat. And I kind of thought that was weird because, yes, Dexter has won the Arnold Classic, but the Arnold Classic is really secondary to the Olympia. The lineup there is not nearly as competitive as the Olympia lineup. So Dexter winning the Arnold as many times as he has really doesn't make him a shoo-in for that second place spot pushing Mr. Olympia. So I thought it was weird that he said that at the press conference. So when Dexter came in second, I kind of thought, maybe the IFBB is fixed and they're trying to deflect attention away from Sean Roden. Because they kept asking Phil about Sean Roden at the press conference, and Phil really just kind of deflected away from the topic of Sean Roden. Now at the prejudging especially, I thought Sean destroyed Phil in every single shot. Sean's waist was just shitting on Phil's waist. Even though Sean had that tiny bit of distension, I think it was way, way sharper than Phil's waist, and his abs were just way better. So I think they were kind of trying to take away from the Phil-Sean rivalry, because if people really focus on Phil versus Sean, I think Sean is the clear Mr. Olympia. So I think they were trying to take it away. They don't want people to focus on that. I think they want Phil to keep winning. I think Phil is in line. He's in a place right now where they're happy with what he's doing. They're happy with the image he projects and the way he talks to the fans and stuff. So I think they're happy with him as a Mr. Olympia, and they want to keep him in that seat for as long as possible. So I think what they're trying to do is deflect away from that Phil-Sean rivalry, because in that rivalry, I think Sean is the clear winner. And that's why they kept putting Phil next to Dexter, and they kind of kept him away from Sean in the class, because once you put Phil right next to Sean, Sean's winning every single shot. So my opinion, the IFBB might be fixed. Now that's really my opinion on the results. Dexter looked good. He looked great. Not to take anything away from Dexter, I don't think he belonged in that number 2 spot. I really had Sean number 2, really pushing for number 1. Now, granted, Phil really did improve a whole hell of a lot from the first night to the second night. So I think he kind of did deserve the win, but I think the real rivalry we should be focusing on is Phil versus Sean, because Sean is the only one who I see really, really pushing Phil for that title. And the judges just really seemed to deflect away from that. Phil seemed to predict that the judges would deflect away from that. Phil predicted the results, basically. He said that in the press conference, and I just thought that was weird, and it stood out to me. And when Dexter got second, I thought it was weird, and it just stood out to me. So I just don't know, man. I just didn't have Dexter in second. I think Dexter and Phil is not the rivalry that we should be looking at. I think it should be Phil and Sean. I think Wolf got robbed with that 4th place finish. I think if Kai showed up, man, he would have been battling for 3rd or 4th. I think Kai would not have beat Roden. I think he certainly wouldn't have beat Dexter. I just think Kai would have been fighting for that 3rd or 4th spot. I don't think it really mattered that Kai wasn't there. And again, another thing that was weird about the press conference is there's Dexter sitting talking about how much he loves the IFBB, how much he loves the NPC. And he said, "Stay home, Kai. I'll take that money all day long." And he finished where Kai usually finishes. So I kind of felt like the IFBB was rewarding Dexter for showing love to the NPC, the IFBB, where Kai was hating on them and kind of blaming them for his lack of competing at the Olympia. They actually gave Dexter Kai's spot, would be another way to look at the situation, because Dexter did finish where Kai usually finishes. And in the prejudging, Dexter kind of predicted that by saying, "I'll take that money all day long." So I thought that was weird too. It just kind of seemed like it was a foredrawn conclusion. It was something that was already going to happen. Like at the press conference, everybody seemed to be, Dexter and Phil really kind of already knew it was going to be Dexter and Phil, and I just thought that was odd. So those are my thoughts. Nick, Strength and Power, signing out.